go, I release, and I know I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. To push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know.
Thousands of years ago, the Buddha taught you are what you think.
I am love. I am peace.
I am joy.
I am silly.
I am powerful.
So a modern philosopher coined the phrase that you are what you eat.
I am organic vanilla ice cream.
I'm chia seeds.
I'm a good, strong cup of coffee in the morning.
I am mac and cheese.
Today, like millions of my human sisters and brothers on planet Earth,
I'm becoming mindful about what I eat, what I think.
But lately, I've been thinking about this.
I watch what I eat, but do I watch what I watch?
What about what I feed my mind, my heart, and my soul?
At Conscious Good, we believe you are what you watch.
You are what you watch.
Anytime you watch something that causes your soul to hurt, there's an impact.
So what's the answer?
At Conscious Good,
We think it's about feeding our minds the same way that we feed our bodies.
With nourishing choices.
After all, if media can have a negative influence on behavior, it can also have a positive one.
It's been proven that if we watch TV shows and videos about people helping others,
Cooperating and being generous.
It can actually influence us to be more altruistic and kind to one another.
Talk about paying it forward.
So next time you sit down to watch your comfort movie,
consider how you will feel afterwards. Will you be happy and energized?
that's because maybe, just maybe,
What you watch.
Read
And listen to.
Matters.
I am what I watch, so I watch what I watch.
I am nourished.
I am inspired.
I am enlightened.
I am a celebration.
I am conscious.
I am conscious.
I am conscious.
I am good.
I am good.
I am good.
We.
We.
We
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are conscious good.
Everyone wishes to live their best life. We experiment with various ways to achieve that, whether it is through study, competing, finding a partner, working hard, or admiring someone who inspires you. It is the quality of our inner being that does it all, or grapples with fulfilling life's calling. For the past 20 years, the Brahma Kumaris in Washington, D.C. has been a space for any and everyone to enter into and experience one's soul calling. From 1997, the center opened in an old rickety house on Georgia Avenue in Silver Spring, Maryland, where cars and trucks that passed by would shake the space. But when you were inside, it was a peaceful and powerful sanctuary for all who visited. Since then, over 2,500 events, 17 city and nationwide initiatives, 21 awards, 2 meditation museums have served youths, senior citizens, entrepreneurs, scientists, authors, women, interfaith, the disabled, environment, small businesses, arts seekers, and even leaders. Millions of lives have been served, either through social media, the popular America Meditating radio show, or through exhibitions, lectures, partnerships, and programs held in the meditation museums and centers. We look at 20 years of service as a continued journey of love, courage, wisdom, and determination with friends from diverse backgrounds and thought who believe a better world is possible when we make ourselves better human beings. Meditation is an important tool that helps us to gain greater clarity, insights, and inner power so we can make healthy choices and amplify our capacity to live a full life. In times of great anxiety, insecurity, and fear, meditation is an essential practice for everyone to gain stability and inner strength. Just look at what a few dedicated, purposeful, and kind group of committed people have been able to achieve in 20 years. Thanks to everyone who have supported us along the way. And thanks in advance to those who believe in our work and power of intent. Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museums, where peace is inside.
Om Shanti. Hi everyone. Hope you had an extremely wonderful Thanksgiving Day yesterday. We had the kids over and they put up the Christmas tree, and Sister Gita's Jamaican jerk tofu had us like drinking lots of water because it was really spicy, and we wore our masks and everything because we have to be really careful with Sister Gita and of course with me too. But I have to tell you, each time I have a chance to just be physically with the family, I've often recognized the importance of relationships. But I'll have to tell you, this COVID has amplified even more the importance of being together, but also, being together with some people who are nice and easy. Doesn't mean that you're always growing with your strongest ability, but just really nice people, nice people. And I hope that your Thanksgiving this year was with nice people, as well as whether it was on Zoom or FaceTime or WhatsApp or maybe in person. I heard over 3 million people flew through the airports for this holiday season. So I hope if you're one of them that you wore your mask, your gloves, and you're really paying attention to upping your immunity and taking your vitamin C and all the other alternative methods that they might offer for you to say, you need to take care of yourself. And even when we're careful, things just have a way of slipping in. It just takes one little element of a bacteria. That's all it takes. And it enters into your system. And so I want to be careful, and I want you to be careful. And again, one never knows. Even when I go up and down the steps and I'm wiping the railing with a wet wipe, it's still, you know, you just don't know. Just don't know. It's just like one of those days. So as we continue to grow with each other, and when we're around the family members, like maybe you were yesterday, or maybe you still are today, or maybe over the weekend, you know, and maybe you're still having leftovers. We had leftovers today, and that was some good leftovers. What is it about leftovers? Anyway, have you ever thought about looking at each other from a deep place? Because today's all about people pleasing. And I think many of us, at least some of us, have had a particular habit of not wanting to give sorrow. I know in my culture of the Brahma Kumaris, it is absolutely essential that you don't give sorrow through your personality. And sometimes when I find myself in a quandary where I don't want to give you sorrow, but I don't feel very peaceful, how do I navigate between those two emotions? There's one part of me that knows karmically it's not good if I give sorrow to you. And then there's another part of me that is feeling like, ugh. And then I do the intellectual thing, and it's the right thing to do, which is to not spill out my lack of virtues, which I use to you instead of using the word anger or frustration. But instead of that, I say it's better I don't give sorrow. The soul is just playing their part. This is the sanskar of the soul. Let me accommodate, let me bend. There's so many times that in our culture here, based on seniority, and it could be also in Indian culture, respectocracy is really, really important. Despite a person's behavior or a way of being, it doesn't matter. If they're your elders or if they're in a position of power, you must give respect, whether they're good or not. It's a very interesting culture. When I had first come into my training, and you know, us young girls growing up in the United States of America, we tend to be a lot more open-minded, and we've been through fights and quarrels with people. If somebody doesn't like you, you tell them how you're feeling. And growing up with Sister Gita, she never hid her feelings, and so I used to watch her being very much like that. But when I think more about the whole concept of people pleasing, I've even started to ask myself, even getting prepared to be with you tonight, I was asking myself, do I try to please people a lot, you know? Especially because of the role that I play, who I think I am or who I think the world thinks I am. Do I try my best to be as kind and thoughtful and caring as I can possibly be? And I have to say, I try. Do I genuinely sense that I'm that all the time? Not all the time. I've had to make compromises. I've had to put a bead in my mouth. I've had to walk away feeling extremely hurt about a decision, about an interaction with somebody. But I have to tell you that not very often do I express myself always in the way that I want to if I'm disturbed. For some reason, I will walk away either distressed quietly, or I will try to sort out why I got distressed too. But while the situation was happening, I want to be the one that walks away not giving any vibrations of anger or sorrow. And I wonder if I do that because I don't want to be the one that's the bad person here. I don't want to be the one that turns out to be the bad one. I don't know if that's arrogance. I'm sure it could be. But that's not what Baba teaches me. And one of the things that I feel is that over a period of time, if I keep trying to be a better version of myself, won't it eventually kick in? Santosh and I, when we were coming down the steps, I looked at him, I says, you know, you are a people person. But then I'm not sure if you are, because culturally you're just like that, aren't you? So we kind of had a neutral understanding, like, I don't know, am I? I mean, what are some of the signs that prove that we're a people person? There are many signs out there. I think the biggest one is the desire, and I want to emphasize the word desire, is to be liked. Why do I want to be liked? Because being liked, like how they have like buttons on Facebook, like buttons on YouTube. By the way, you can like the program right now. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitter. But they have these like buttons or like tabs. And when you press it, it is supposed to make the person feel like, ah, I'm accepted, I'm loved, I'm valued, I'm seen, I'm important. And all of those emotions are so important, aren't they? Like, am I liked, or do I need to be liked? Do I even like myself? When you look in the mirror, would you press your own like button with what you see? It's a really important question. When you look at yourself in the mirror, let's say there was a like button or a support button or a not support button, what do they call it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. You can even give me one of those tonight too. Say, you go, right? Well, you look in the mirror, would you give yourself a like button? Would you press the heart? Would you look at yourself in the mirror tonight or tomorrow and actually feel like you are willing to even please yourself by giving yourself the right thoughts, by having the right language, by having the right kind of a mental narrative in your consciousness? Are you willing to go that extra mile, to think the way you need to think, to interpret yourself the way that you're supposed to interpret yourself, and actually accept that you're willing to please yourself, so your desire for other people to be okay with you gets less? And I don't mean just pleasing yourself, which some of us can be very optimistic, you know, and keep having that thought. For example, if you have a relationship with, say, your manager or your boss, and you walk away and you say, oh, my boss doesn't like me at all, then of course, each time you have that thought, it just deepens that reality. But let's say every time the boss comes in your mind, you change the thinking and you go, oh, my boss just loves the living daylights out of me. I just know it. They just love me like you wouldn't believe. And every time, even though the person might have that consistent behavior towards you that first made you think they didn't like you, then you just started to create the world. Like, of course they're going to like me. Of course they like me. Why wouldn't they? I'm likable. You look in the mirror, you generate that vibration, you generate that atmosphere. You see it over and over again. Wouldn't you start to really fulfill your own void? So then, wouldn't you start to like or have a need for people to like you less? Wouldn't you start to reduce your compromises in your relationships that require you always pleasing people and having you walk away feeling dissatisfied? I feel like one of the most important practices is the practice of drishti, you know, this practice that we do in the Brahma Kumaris, soul conscious vision, soul to soul, that you go inwards behind your two eyes and you go into the soul. And you become soul conscious, which is you find a place in yourself that you like, that is really you. It can be a quality, it could be an experience that is very truthful for you. And then from that place, you invite God's love into your consciousness. And together, you and Baba's love, you and God's love, you both are having like a spiritual, deeply intimate experience. And then you share through your eyes what we call in the Brahma Kumaris drishti. It's really looking deeply from your place of depth when you're relating to another. I'll guarantee you that every time you pause and you come from that deeper, intentional, purest, peacefulest, loveliest self, and you look at another person, the narrative changes. The way the both of you show up will change. And in many ways, you're going to bypass the issues of people and get more to the heart of the matter. Came across a really lovely video about really breaking borders between people. And I want you all to watch this because I think it says a lot about breaking the habit of pleasing people because you're not being the real you. Enjoy this.
Nice mustache. Six, five. Mit 6, 5.
Are you new in Berlin?
Yeah, 8 months.
And are you alone here or with your family?
No, I don't. This life, sometime nice, sometime not good.
I'm keeping my eyes on you. Hello. I expect you to ask my number.
Be a strong man.
Thank you so much.
We will go to the zoo, maybe next few days. I will text you if you would like to.
I would love it. Of course. You can do it.
When I was looking into her eyes, I was trying to see what I could tell from the life that she lived, and I think I could tell that there was a lot of experience lived there.
It doesn't matter, look at the eyes or something, just give yourself a chance to talk and to look at the other person.
I love that video. And if you've ever met any of us BKs publicly, or personally rather, you find that one of the ways that we greet each other is that we will always say Om Shanti, and then this practice of seeing beyond the color of the skin, the religion, the nationality, the gender, the race, whatever it is, you just look deep into the heart and you go deep into the soul of the person. And in doing so, you bypass all of your own insecurities and maybe the insecurities of other people. But at that exact moment, you create such a state of sovereignty, such a state of truthfulness, such a state of power into that moment with you and another person. There's never a need to compromise yourself. You're coming from a place of truth. Haven't you found yourself in situations where you literally lied by giving in to what the other person wanted from you? The person is asking something from you. The person is doing something that's not right. And still you placate it, you accommodate it, you move with it, and you walk away complaining and arguing in your head about how you wished you had spoken up, how you wished you had said something, but you didn't. And so a lot of times you have to ask yourself, why didn't I say something? A few months ago, actually it was last year, I believe, maybe early this year or late last year, some friends of mine had gone away on a retreat, and I was to have joined them, but just something in my heart felt like I wouldn't be able to. Economically, I can't. They said, don't worry about it, we're going to take care of it. I go, no, I don't want that. But it turned out to be a fantastic trip on one end, but on the other end, physically I would not have been able to endure the trip. It was arduous. So they all came back and told me, you would not have survived it. We just know you. You know, you're just a little bit on the delicate side. And it was just so much constant moving. And from the trip, they'd connected with a friend or someone that we were working with to do some work with the environment. And long story short, there was an invitation, got it, and I felt like they left me out. And so they know that sometimes when I'm not very happy, I like what my friend will say, you're ghosting me, or I'm boycotting, or I'm not talking to them. But sometimes I'm trying to process why I feel there's that need. And so I remember just telling them very honestly, this is what I felt, this is what I think you should have done. And both of them still felt like, we don't have to invite you everywhere we go. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why they would think that. And I said, it's not a matter of you're not to invite me everywhere you go. I know that. But that was something that you knew. We're like buddies, you know, this is what we do. And again, they know how much work that I've done in the environment, and even the work that the Brahma Kumaris has done in the environment, right? And this was a person that was looking at the environment. So of course I got like thrilled, oh, this is great, we can do so much collaboration. And they know I'm a person that loves to bring people together to amplify stories. I mean, I will not keep I get so many opportunities, and I always look for ways I can invite my friends, to have them join in the abundance, to join in the story. But I have to tell you, there was something I learned from my conversation with Carolyn Mace this week, or last week. And Carolyn Mace had said something that touched me and Santosh a lot. And she said, you know, when you are doing something good, a lot of people get intimidated by that. And for some reason, they don't like to share power or relinquish their power to anyone. And I thought about our conversation about people pleasing, that I think sometimes we think we stay in a place of power when we consistently give in to people and give them what we think they want from us. But then we realize that we're actually disempowering ourselves. And I believe the reason why we get into that particular space is because we don't know who we really are. And we've not been practicing from coming from that deep soul conscious place, that even when life offers me a curveball or a situation that somehow doesn't make me feel really good about myself, then I speak up. I go, I didn't like that. I don't feel that you should have done that. And look at this. Sometimes I wonder if I should have even said anything to them. The pandemic came and they still couldn't go on their trip. And I thought to myself, but that's me. If there's something that I feel disturbs me, or this is a part of me that I feel is important to me, at least at this particular time, the people that I'm closest to are the people that I want them to see my highs, my lows, my ins, and my outs. I've been with people who I thought that I presented what I'm supposed to present, so that it creates a sense of safety, it creates a sense of trust, it creates a sense of loyalty. And I've gotten the complete opposite from them. They won't trust me maybe as far as they can throw me. They will not give me their loyalty, and they will not try to get close to me. Even though I felt that what I offered was the right thing, like I've done everything in the right way. But then on some energetic level, there's something that comes in between me and those relationships. There's like something, I don't know what it is, if it's a caution, if it's an intimidation, is it a blessing? Is it a curse? Is it a settling of karma? Is it accurate? Will it show itself in the future as a blessing, a boon, or maybe a loss? Nobody knows yet. But I think each of us are carrying still a conflict within ourselves. No matter how much you've worked it out, there's always going to be an element of you that you still don't know yet. And you're not willing to go the extra mile to understand what it is. So you still think it is really important to give people what they want, and yet sacrifice your own happiness. What I've learned in terms of the teachings in Raj Yoga, it's not necessarily that I give people what they want, or I'm giving in to people, but you know what it actually is? I have to become what Baba says I am. And you'll find that in that place of being your real spiritual light and your true spiritual integrity, what will happen is that when you're in situations or circumstances with people, and they're offering you something that maybe you don't think you can give to them, or you're offering something that you don't even think you can take from them, then it's the way that I will come to them to give them my no that will make a difference. I think in the past I've often shared with Santosh that, and also in India, there's such a beautiful way of saying no. In India, we do it like this. No, I don't think so, but call me next week, right? So you look at somebody, and you know, what this says to me over and over again whenever I see it in India or here, whenever Naveen comes to visit Santosh, he becomes so Hyderabad, I don't even know where he disappears to, but he becomes somebody different. And I see him doing this, him and Naveen, and then he rubs his head and he sits back, and I look at him and I go, look at how this brothers, their closeness and their influence is so deep that he becomes a different person. And the best part is when I watch them talking, the head just keeps going, and it's just like it's like almost a Bollywood movie I'm watching. And I just look at that and I say to myself, the depths of our connections with one another are beyond explanations. Like you and I will never know the deep connections that we have with one another. And so sometimes do we show up in these physical relationships feeling that maybe I really do need to please you. I don't know. Do I really need to give more of myself than I need to? It's a very, very deep conversation. It's sort of like a mixture, it's like an ingredient that you have to put together that's perfect, but you really don't know if it will be perfect. Because you don't know if sometimes when you're giving in, it's really to really get up and to really rise up. And you don't know if, you know, your giving in is really become such a pattern that you don't even know who you are anymore. You don't know what you stand for. You don't know how to stand for what you believe in. You don't build the energy of power and integrity and your own inner sovereignty to allow the vibration of your presence to even be your answer. Am I talking to anyone today? Because it is such an interesting conversation. I mean, am I doing what I'm doing because I want to be liked? Or do you do what you do because it's the right thing to do? Or are you doing it because of some trauma or fear? Or are you doing it because you are in your place of power? And there isn't a question of doing it or not. You'll say, yes, I would like that. When you don't, you go, no, thank you. And everything still in you is in that soul conscious place. And as you continue to come from that soul conscious place, you will intuitively know why you're saying your yes. That is connected to your sense of strength and sovereignty and mastery and spirituality. And you'll also know why you're saying your no. It's connected to the same qualities. Very, very interesting. I invite you to think about it because it's a big thing. It's a big, big topic. Thinking about there's certain people who are really, really harsh and they'll tell you what they want and what they don't want, and it fascinates me because after a while you kind of know that that's what the person stands for, so don't go wasting their time. I like that sometimes in people, and I really do. Maybe I've been in Washington too long. I've become so diplomatic that even if I need to say no, it's done with a great sense of thoughtfulness first. And I wonder, is it I'm lying, or is it because of the role of responsibility? If I was just Jenna, would it be different if I was Sister Jenna, or are both of them the same people? Food for thought, right? Am I my role or am I my virtues? I'm my virtues, right? So if my virtues are there, whether I'm Jenna, Sister Jenna, Brahma Kumari, or no Brahma Kumari, shouldn't I be the same person? So it's not necessarily about pleasing people. It is about being able to come from that place within you, behind your eyes, the person who's a master, who you know yourself. You've been listening to yourself long enough. You've been paying attention to yourself long enough. You've been observing yourself long enough. You see how you're progressing in life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, then physically, relationship-wise, financial-wise. It can't be hidden. It's a much bigger topic, I know. But anyway, I hope that you are taking benefit from it, and I just wanted to go on. Everybody, please let me know if I'm making any sense to you tonight. Yeah? Denise, thank you for joining us. I agree. Yes, such a wise. Thank you, Denise. Grace, Om Shanti. How is our little pup doing? Is he doing much better? I hope he's healing. I hope he's really healing. I was remembering him yesterday too. That's my current work, standing in authenticity through it all. Very good, Grace. Louise, Om Shanti, and thank you for the wonderful message that you sent the other day. Yes, justice and truth is always more solvent. Portia, Om Shanti, Portia. Happy Thanksgiving to you and Michael. I agree with Sister on this topic. You can't always give in to someone. You have to confront the issue head on and move on. Yeah, it's very true. Now, in some sense, Portia, like that works really well in the West, but I have to tell you, when you go to India, and I think it could be a cultural thing, it's not always like that, is it? No, a person could actually have said no to you and all their actions show no, but everything said yes. It's just like you don't understand. There's a kind of a vibrational coding, especially when I go back to India, and it's much more deeply rooted in the culture and in the tradition, is that you don't know if they're ever saying yes or no to you. It's like sometimes there's a smile and everything is good, and then I'll go and I'll do something, and then the person comes and says to me, "Who gave you permission to do that?" And I go, you did. Go, "I never said so." And I'm like, "But then why did you smile and do like that? It looked like you did." There's a deep coding, Porsche. I don't know how you'd survive in India. It'll be quite an interesting experience. Anyway, Porsche, that was just something to think about. So yes, face it head on. That's what I've liked about the West. Connection is important. Authenticity is invaluable in remaining clear and true within through the connection. That's true, Louise. Denise says, I was asked a long time ago to do a paper on who am I? Yeah, so powerful. So Carlene says, relationship lessons are powerful healing of who I am because it requires truthfulness. Yes. Grace says, I tend to sometimes isolate while processing what initially I experienced as a hurt. Yes, yes. Asmita, Om Shanti, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Asmita, everyone, as you know, has moved to India, so she's watching from there. Wonderful topic, Portia says, I was asked to write an article for a project called Friendshipology. Wonderful one. Friendshipology, relationship building, is key to sustaining lifelong friendships with people who are caring, kind, and empathetic. That's beautiful. There's some people I've known, they kind of like that kind of a rough, charged up vibration. They love their relationships based on adrenaline. And I've been involved with a lot of people like that, but I think I'm a little bit of a wimp. So maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I can't handle too much of that anymore. I don't know. Lilowati says, my husband and brother Ronald passed away yesterday. Oh, Lilowati, what happened? My husband's brother, passed away yesterday. We certainly will. We will do that after the show, okay? Before the show comes to an end. We're so sorry to hear that. Vineet, are you on today, Vineet? I would love for you to give a thumbs up. So nice that you joined us. Everyone, Vineet is Asmita's husband. So he's now all alone. The boys are gone, and Asmita, they're all gone to India. So he's now manning the house by himself. So lots of love to Vineet, and sending him a lot of love and power. Alika, sorry to hear about your brother, is sharing this with you, Lilowiti. So yes, we'll pray for your strength. Yes. Hello, Mercedes. Glad to have you. Yes, it's really important about boundaries. And I remembered I was in a conversation. I don't know if many of you know this Grammy singer, Alanis Morissette. She sung this song. What's that song, Santosh? Oh, Isn't It Ironic? That was the song. I love that song. Anyway, so Alanis and I are having this conversation, and she was talking about putting up your boundaries. And I said, but Alanis, I'm Pisces. We belong in the ocean. I don't have boundaries. And I was telling her, my boundaries will only go up. I will only set boundaries when spiritually I'm not doing so well. But when I feel like I'm in a really strong spiritual stage, my spiritual stage automatically sets the boundaries. I never have to tell anybody what I want. I never have to ask somebody for what I want. My inner stage is actually commanding what I require. But when that stage has been shook, because I've allowed that to happen, or some event has taken me for a curve, or it's bigger than my interpretation or my understanding, and I start to feel weak, then I feel like I've got to put up my boundaries until I can build myself. I feel that when we build boundaries and don't work on the stage, we get weaker. it becomes a defense mechanism. Again, that's my way. But I feel it becomes more of a defense mechanism than really a protection to give you the time needed to build yourself. So I would recommend that check to see if you can keep building your own spiritual sense of self and see if that becomes the energy that can please people. And then they'll ask less from you and will just know what is needed with you and for you. Food for thought. Food for real deep thought today, because this is a big conversation. First on a cultural level, emotional level, on a traumatic level. You know, again, it comes in different ways. And how do I recognize if I'm really lying, or am I being diplomatic or well-mannered, or am I just simply trying to develop myself to be a stronger version of myself? So again, it comes back to who am I inside? Who am I behind these eyes? What is it that this soul, I the soul, have been through that I really need to understand that it's something from my past that's getting in my way? Why I would want to please everyone, to feel that it's important to be so liked that I end up not liking myself or forgetting who I am. And we shouldn't have to reach that place. Here's a lovely meditation. I'm focusing on the practice of drishti and the meditation of seeing somebody with the eyes of love. Again, if I can raise my inner vibration, my spiritual vibrations, then I will not have to keep pleasing people, because the energy from within, my energy, my growth, my spiritual sense of presence will be what will please souls. That will make life so much easier, that I don't need to lie to anyone, but I just show up authentically. Take a moment, sit back. I think you'll like this one. Keep your eyes open. Share drishti with the person, the vibrations of love with the person on the screen, and receive drishti of love or peace from the vibrations of the person on the screen. Enjoy.
Eyes, the windows of the soul, the meeting of hearts through the eyes, the journey of seekers over centuries, restless in our human identity, weary of the world and the old self, yearning for higher grounds. The journey begins with one step, and then another. A vague memory of something better, more pure, a perfect love, an inner memory that keeps you moving forward until the moment hoped for but still a surprise. You catch the fragrance of what you were looking for. Face to face, heart to heart with love, with the beloved, and it takes your breath away. Through your divine eye, you experience beauty, love, truth, the perfect relationship. The heart is at peace, slipping into the depths of stillness, into light, connected to the one with a deep attraction of love, like a moth to the flame. Everything falls away. Your vision is on one. You surrender, merged, held in the pure light of love, long lost, eternal love.
Feel like just sitting with you and sharing love. But I liked something Asmita said. Vineet, she's so smart. You're wonderful. Asmita said, real eyes realize real lies. Wasn't that a good one? That was wonderful, Asmita. Look at that. India has you now so poetic. Anyway, anyone would like to raise a question today? We haven't done a question in a long time. Remember in the early days with Spiritual Vaccine Hour, we used to do questions and answers? We haven't done that in a long time, but I want to be able to go deeper into this particular topic because I'm still sorting through, am I really doing something to please because of my role, my title, or my virtues? Or do I really, really just want to please people because that's just who I am? And is the pleasing of others making me lose who I am? You know, again, food for thought. And I'm not saying it happens all the time, but like I'd mentioned earlier, that when your spiritual stage is really strong, that's going to fulfill whatever's needed from people. But and again, this is my experience, but when something gets a little bit short, it just goes into a whole different place, you know. Then I have to really speak up. Right, Asmita, let me hear what you're saying to us today. I love the quotes from my school days. Just love sharing. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Is everybody enjoying the show today? Any realizations that are coming up for you? Yeah, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Great one. Never heard that from before, right, Denise? Yeah, real eyes realize lies. I love that. Asmita, that's your new logo for the year. Anyway, I don't think it's possible to please everyone. Just keep smiling. Perfect, Portia Davidson. Miriam, Om Shanti. Would you elaborate on Drishti practice? I never heard of it before. Sure, sure. So in the practice of the Brahma Kumaris, when especially the first 14 years, or let's just say the first 20 years of the making of the energy of the Brahma Kumaris, Brahma Baba, who founded the whole idea and opened up this whole culture because of his download and his experience with the divine, with the supreme. And this is how I've heard it. And then as I went into deeper meditation, I could visualize it and see it for myself. But imagine from the 1930s, you know, there he was running his business, taking care of his family, but searching like maybe you and I have been searching. And for him, he had such a profound epiphany, such an awakening, such a rebirth, such an opening, that the people that were in and around his community at the time felt through his eyes this powerful energy of love coming through. So when the organization actually started to get more formed, because there was nothing that he could do, people were just wanting to come around him, he decided to sell off a majority of his business and take that money and start the school. He had no idea what was going on. Then little by little, he was developing and growing. And what the daddies used to tell us, and this is Daddy Janki, who many of you have met or have heard about, passed away on March 27th. Daddy Prakash Mani, who is my spiritual mentor. We have the Om Shanti Daddy Prakash Mani peace tree planted on Capitol Hill, where we go to meditate, to send vibrations to send it. And all the other daddies, and it's a term that we use in Sindhi. It means elder one, elder sister, elder person. So they used to tell us that when Brahma Baba would have this very profound experience of God's love, they could feel the current and the love protruding through his eyes. There was this gentle warmth. But whenever they would look at Brahma Baba's eyes, it would fill up their spirits from within. So I thought about the story, and it's one of the ways that we say hello with each other. We do drishti, we go Om Shanti, how are you? We're practicing being soul conscious. We're practicing speaking to the person also in soul consciousness, that it reduces a lot of the expectations of the limited perceptions that we hold of each other. All those body conscious notions get less. So the drishti practice is really important in the BK culture, because what it does, it builds and amplifies the personality and the sanskars of purity, which means I am reducing my expectations, interpretations, or way of seeing you from a physical form. And each time I look at you from my spiritual perspective, being in connection and experiencing God's vibrations, and I'm talking to you, then I'm actually serving myself in my relationship with you. So you're getting a really big dose of the explanation of drishti. So drishti is something that we do all the time when we meet each other. It's always the first thing we do is a hello with drishti and a goodbye with drishti. It's like giving blessings to the other person, but also amplifying your own blessings from within you. So the more we can practice seeing each other from our place of soul consciousness and God consciousness or God's love, then the less conflicts and the less fear and the less anxiety and the less limitation we will carry as souls. So that's the benefit and the power of drishti. You've looked at somebody when they're angry with you, so you've gotten their drishti and it goes, I don't like your drishti. In other words, I don't like your vision on me. Got it? But when you get someone's drishti that's in loving union with God, that's a drishti that will give you power, it will give you blessings, it will inspire you, it will enhance you, it will open up your creativity, it will give you a sense of security, protection. It offers so much, because so rare do we get a chance to just settle into the purity of another person. We're always on guard, you know. What's the motive of this one now for me? You know, it happens like that. So I hope I answered your question very well. I hope that made it very easy for you to see where I was coming from, Miriam. All right, so Alika, I feel like people pleasing is an insult. That is me. But I felt that I was happiest when I serve others. But when you say no, everyone is mad. So maybe it's not good, right? Again, Alika, and I emphasize, it's the place that I'm coming from. Service is vital. Don't stop serving. But if I get upset after serving and I don't get the return of what I think was service, my service was mixed with some ego. So it's still, something's not completely clear there. So over and over again, I have to keep checking. I have to keep checking that I am coming from that place of the sovereign. I think it's really important. So I hope that helped. Grace, I wonder if those real lies are when a person is attempting to hide from you what is really going on with them that may not be so positive. That's food for thought, Grace. That is true. That is so true. It's really a big conversation. Susanna, Drishti helps me convey my thoughts whether I agree or disagree. Of course, it is harder when there is a disagreement. Sister Rita always used to tell me when it comes to rebel, just bite your tongue, and later, when you reflect on the matter, you give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Easy practice, but takes time to get there. Yeah, I get it. No one can be very positive in their expression. Good. All right. So, again, even though we're not completely positive with our expressions now, don't close the gate yet. Aim to get there. America has been living an ideal that it has been making an effort to attain and to reach. And we don't know if we'll ever get there. But it sure feels good to try. And I think in the same way, we don't know if we'll ever become 100% perfect, 100% loving, 100% pure. But it's a wonderful thing to aim for. And maybe one day we'll get there. All right, so I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation and chit-chat today. I know I did. And again, it's a deep conversation. You can have it with your family at home. Talk about it tonight with one another if you happen to be living with other people, and just see what their feedback is and how they're feeling. Because I feel that the quicker we get to understand the power that we have within ourselves, then we can allow that power to give the answers, and we don't have to compromise ourselves way too much. I think when you live from a place of honesty and integrity, that's pleasing of people. If you can live with truthfulness, love, empathy, compassion, as you, the soul, and you are honest and you're loyal and you have your own integrity for yourself, which all comes from your connection with Baba, I suspect we will please people. And it's not necessarily about what I can do for you or what you can do for me, but it's the fact that when I'm with you, I feel safe. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'll see you again really soon. Hope everyone enjoyed. We're going to end the show with Lisa Hava's Behind Your Eyes. It's a new release from Lisa's album, and I think it serves true the videos that we've seen today and a little bit of the conversation that we've had tonight. Have a wonderful night. Om Shanti. Be well. Think deeply. Be wise. And as Portia said, smile a lot. Take care.
Lately, we only disagree, but there's something you should know about me. I don't cave in easily, no matter what you say. What you say to me, and I will try to see things from your side. What's the path I would choose if I walked in your shoes? Come from different places, seen thousands of faces. I wonder what lies behind your eyes, behind your eyes. Maybe we can speak our minds without getting angry, without all the lies. It seems like we don't have the time to sit around in silence or point fingers at the blind. And I will try to see Our sight's been blurred by the lines of division. It's the human condition. So will you fight or use your vision? Time to make a decision. Behind your eyes, behind your eyes, behind your
Hi everyone, it's Sister Jenna from American Meditating Radio. I hope you've been enjoying Wise-ish, which you can get live on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45. But you can also get it on demand 24/7. It's going to be your power boost for the morning. It's your daily dose for the soul. It's just going to encourage you to make the day that much more valuable. So join us. Looking forward to seeing you.